Welcome, movie fans, to Popcorn Talks Anatomy of a Movie, where today, hey, Lego my ego, we're going to break down and discuss the Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Anatomy of a Movie.
Popcorn Talk, we talk movies, yes we do. And today, we are going to talk animated movie, Lego Movie Part 2. Only 5 years in the making, is it? Yeah, the second part. I remember when we did the first
one.
Lego movie. It seems like, you know, they've come up with so many Lego movies. It seems like it was not too long ago that it happened, that the first one had come out. And then when I was researching, I'm going, wow, that came out a little while ago.
Right. I don't think I was part of that panel because I remember seeing it, the first one, late.
And the voice that you're hearing, everybody, is my fabulous, talented, beautiful co-host, Marisa Serafini. Hey.
Hello.
You don't remember being part of that panel?
I don't remember talking about it.
I remember the movie. I'm pretty sure Phil was on it. I could have swore you were on it too.
Probably Phil. I don't know. We've done so many movies.
I know. It's hard work.
I'm like 90% sure I saw that movie late, so I wasn't part of the first one.
Like Legos, we're all so interchangeable. Like who's on and who's off and who clicks and so I get it. So, well, let's start talking about Lego my ego.
Saying that
as you know, folks, for the people who have been fans and join us weekly and tune in weekly, first, thank you very much. For anybody that's new to the show, we usually will talk about a movie shortly after it's open. Why do we do this? Because we talk major plot points, aka spoilers. We are rich with spoilers in the movie and twists and turns. So if you haven't seen the movie, by all means, I won't be offended if you tune us out right now to go see the movie, but make sure that you come back, because even after the live stream here, our show is on YouTube, iTunes.
We live in perpetuity.
Yeah, so we're always able, you can always find us and click on, and then you can always comment as well. If you are with us live, hey, thanks very much. We look forward to reading your comments. So I needed to get that out of the way, and as we start off every show, we talk, we first open up with opinions. Marisa, what did you think of Lego Movie 2, the second part?
This was really fun. I actually rewatched the first movie a week ago to refresh in my mind what happened. So having that now, knowing like what it was leading into for the second movie, I had high expectations, high hopes, because it's really actually fun. It's a fun. The first movie is like really smart, and there's a lot of just smart humor in it, and so I was expecting the same thing in this one. More musicals numbers in it than I was expecting, and you know me, I'm a big musical fan, so I did enjoy that part. But the storyline wasn't as strong as the first. But not to say it was a bad storyline. It's just a very, very PG, family-oriented, simple storyline. Absolutely. Where the first one kind of like had a mystery involved, and I enjoyed that. So this one, very straightforward, fun, a lot of funny moments here and there. Visual world, it's so fun to get sucked back into this world and to even build upon the characters that we liked. Literally build. Literally. Upon these bricks. And, I don't think it's as strong as the first one, but it's still a very enjoyable film.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the first movie comes out, and I think it was a surprise to a lot of people, including our panel here when we broke it down 5 years ago. You know, because everybody expected at the time a Lego movie, cash grab, let's sell toys, let's sell Legos, and the movie really wasn't like that. It turned out to be an extremely clever movie, a lot of fun, had a lot of heart, and lots of good laughs, and it was good for young and old.
Yeah.
The be-all, end-all of animated movies? I don't necessarily think so, but it was still a good time in a movie theater. So for me, going into Lego Movie 2, you know, I think brick by brick, I think it's as imaginative, clever, and fun, and it's as original, if not as original as the original, being the shock and awe and surprise already happened. So once we're in that world, like they're not. There's not much more they can do other than make it flashier because they have their own set of rules. But I still thought it made for a good family movie, and like that original Lego movie, it had solid messaging to it.
Right, and it's not like we haven't gotten a Lego film. We've had Ninjago and the Batman Lego movies in between this film, so it's not like Lego had this one film 5 years later. We're finally getting a sequel.
True.
No, we had things in between.
Absolutely.
So I totally understand the whole appeal of, wow, look at the Lego world. This is so cool. It's like we've seen it for the last 5 years.
And to their credit, I mean, again, I don't think the second part is it's not better than, but I don't think it's not worse either. And once you've been in the world, you really can't change the structure of this world. I mean, they are bricks. They're block. Like you can tell different stories, but they're still confined to using these bricks to set up this world.
Technically inanimate objects.
Right. So Lego 2 can only play within its brick by brick construction. And I think with its given bricks, it entertains. And we'll talk about this too, its legacy. I'm not sure. I think a third movie might just be another brick in the wall at this point. They really turned out like Batman and Ninjago. Like this is the fourth Lego movie within 5 years. That's almost a movie a year. Definitely like a year and a half when you think about it. So in any case, but still a lot went into this. Our Lord and Miller weren't the directors, but they wrote the story, as you know, and they were a major contributors to the first movie. The other thing that the Lego movie I think surprised many people was its meta universe, right? Which Lord and Miller did. I believe these are the guys that were like involved at 21 Jump Street, extremely meta, right? So this movie is equally in that meta universe.
Yeah, and definitely self-aware.
Very self-aware.
And like they poke fun at themselves, literally. Like half of the jokes were just really WB jokes. If you don't know the WB franchises.
Yes, there was a lot of that, and a lot of the voice actors. Emmett, for example. Played by Chris Pratt. His second character that he voices is making fun of Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Not so much
From
Emmett.
Jurassic World.
But it's making fun of Chris Pratt. So everybody went into this, I think, with, just good times. And they were going to have a good time in self-effacing and just have a sense of humor about themselves as well. And I think that worked.
Absolutely, and I think it's fun to see some of the same characters, come back like Emmett and
Lucy,
and Lucy and all that. But then we get introduction of new characters, and then we have to say goodbye to like the old ones, or like we don't even see maybe for a second we see the Two-Faced cop.
Right.
We don't get Liam Neeson. We don't get Gandalf, other for like the moment like their planet was blowing up. So it's like we say goodbye to major characters from the first one, but we do get new characters in the second.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too, because there was even a little bit of Star Wars in the first one, if I remember correctly. Didn't we see some ships
we
and everything?
Han Solo.
There was no Star Wars in this one at all, and I just wonder if that was a licensing deal. I'm not entirely sure, but we still had Metalbeard and Benny, the astronaut.
Spaceship.
Unikitty, Ultra Kitty, Batman.
Of course, because of Will Arnett. And they made a whole freaking Lego movie just about Batman. So
yeah.
He had to be in this one.
But I enjoyed Queen, and I love her name, Whatever Wannabe, where if you say it slowly, it's whatever wannabe, and it was voiced by Tiffany Haddish, who was great as the voice talent. And she can sing.
She can sing. Or was that really singing, or just more like fast talking to a beat.
Yeah, I mean, she was...
But her character had all the musical numbers.
Right.
Which totally was not expecting it. But if you think about it, now just in retrospect, like the whole character, Queen whatever now, wannabe. It's actually a pretty brilliant name.
It is.
But, like, she's the female
Whatever
character.
wannabe.
And
Yes.
it, like, if we're going to get into the whole storyline and stuff, but, like, it makes sense that the girl who's playing with the girl toys and the girl Legos would have more of the musical numbers. Not saying that the boys can't, but it would make more sense if the little girl had the musical numbers.
Right, and
that's why Queen had all the musical
I was surprised, but yet not surprised. You know, earlier we talked like the meta aspect of this. I mean, musicals are somewhat popular right now, right? Mm-hmm. So it
they've
makes
always been popular.
Well, but they've had a resurgence. You know, Greatest Showman, La La Land. This year alone, when you have movies like Star Is Born, which is very music driven, right? Mm-hmm. It makes sense that they were going to. Like when you see it happen, you go, "Oh well, yeah," because they're always they're mirroring what's going on, and to have musical numbers in a Lego movie, it was sort of kind of cool. They were choreographed. They had a lot of pizzazz
they
and
were
color
full
to them.
music numbers.
They really
and
were.
And like if you think about it, the whole first one we had Everything Is Awesome, which became a big musical number that I don't think a lot of people were actually expecting. It became a musical earworm because it is, and everyone remembers that song, so it makes sense that they would want to add even more music to the second one so people remember it.
And make it a musical too. Another new character was this General Mayhem. Which was that was a very fun character. I thought
she looked like a little fly or a mosquito, and I couldn't really picture if she was good or bad.
Right.
Like, I mean, with the mask, she looks kind of menacing.
She's awesome.
But her outfit is pink and white, and you can't really those colors don't symbolize evil.
No.
So you knew on some level she was probably good.
Yeah, which was interesting too. You had brought it up just a few seconds ago too. The other aspect that the sequel does is it blends the real world with this Lego world of construction. And the first movie deals with a father-son relationship. And this movie here was more about sibling relationship, brother-sister. And I liked the aspect of it. And once you're back into the world and you figure these parallels going on, right, you understand that the sister wants to bring her own creativity into, they're forced to play together. You know, but you get the sibling fighting and the rivalry. And to me, the messaging, especially at the end of the movie, it had heart. It was sweet to me. I liked it. Some people have criticized it. I did not. I got it. It was
I
completely
understood why they went for the brother sister dynamic, because if you looked at the rating of this film, it's rated PG. It's for kids.
Yeah.
And so, I relate to it just personally because I remember me being young. I had my female Lego blocks.
Sure.
My brother had his male Lego blocks. We never played with each other with our own Legos. So, I did like that there is a natural separation between that. And I liked how they put both of these, the female and male worlds, together.
Yeah.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, and as you're watching, this is the other thing, at least for me, that I appreciated. I like the villain who's not a villain. And because they're set up as a villain. And I appreciated how Queen, whatever wannabe.
Whatever I want to be.
Yeah. She, these people, even like Mayhem, really weren't the villains. They were just trying to take over. They were
trying to unite the kingdoms.
Yeah, they just wanted to be part of Lego world that the brother was building. Mm-hmm. That's all. And when you find that out, which is about 3/4 of the way in the movie, especially when Rex and Emmett are trying to, they're like, oh, no, you're misunderstanding what's going on here.
Right.
I like the switcheroo. For me, it worked.
Yeah, and
What
I like
about for
how
you?
they did actually try to spoon feed us. Where it's like,
They didn't
evil.
they?
We're not evil. But
Right.
we, as an audience, are just conditioned, like, okay, these are the outsiders. Of course they're evil in some way. Or
Right.
have some malicious, ulterior motive. We're just conditioned into Hollywood to think, like, if it's an outsider and they're unknown, we can't trust them.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the intent, but one could, I think, make an argument too from a social political standpoint. Like, they felt as if they were being invaded, and and they kept on saying, "We're not evil, and you just go, "You're evil,"
Sure.
or something. Sure. So like I said, I got into that aspect of this story, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I liked the togetherness resolution of it. It's like you can coexist. And it actually makes a pretty creative world in which the characters that you're imagining are getting along with everybody.
Yeah, did you
That's
notice
really
there
good.
was a shot where they were showing the different planet solar system?
Yes.
And it pans out. And if you've ever seen the actual symbol sign that says coexist, that's like on bumper cars, stickers. Actually, Jeff, if you could pull it up. Coexist image. It's like literally a bunch of like a moon and fish
Sure.
and all this. It's a bunch of symbols.
Right.
And there's actually a shot of all the planets that line up and it says exactly coexist.
Really?
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the actual
Yeah.
image, yes, that's the one. If you're not familiar with an image, you wouldn't understand it.
Right.
But they literally gave us like little visual cues
Right.
about them trying to coexist with each other. I'm like,
There we go.
It's kind of brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah, that's great. I did not see. I just learned something, and hopefully you too, the audience. See, you can always learn something about the movie you just watched from Anatomy of a Movie.
Yes, and now that you've seen the image, you will see it everywhere. It's on like every other bumper sticker.
Really? Now, you're probably
Coexist
right.
exists everywhere.
So, yeah, I really thought that the messaging of that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I felt that it was sincere and heartfelt. So, yeah, it worked. It worked for me. So, going
It's a very
into-
easy storyline to follow.
It really is. It isn't, and it does try to drive you one way, right, before you get to the reveal. And I thought the way that it went out and it mapped out with thinking that they were in this imminent danger, and seeing Emmett, as his friends are kidnapped. And he's got to go do something. He's the master builder. He's got to go do something. And I really liked how he comes across Rex Dangervest. Another great name. And why does he have a vest? Ooh, why is he called Rex Dangervest? Well, because he was inspired by Emmett and his vest. Not that he was inspired by his character from Jurassic World who wore a vest and trained raptors,
Totally.
which I thought was very funny.
Self-aware.
Yeah, again, I don't know. Some people were criticizing. I actually thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Did you expect the twist with his character at the end?
No, I didn't. No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't expect that he was going to be the villain, ultimately.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. I think the trailer did a good job of not showing that because, trailers can really legitimately ruin movies and tell you everything. And I think it's also because we, the audience, know Emmett is such a good guy.
Such a good guy.
And then this guy who's, like, such a fan of Emmett in, like, somewhat a positive way, like encouraging him to do X, Y, and Z. You're like, okay, he's a cool dude, too. So we're like, when you see Emmett make a friend, you're automatically rooting for him.
Absolutely. And again, I think part of the movie is that Rex Dangervest is, you want to get really into the weeds. He's sort of kind of like, well, he's the brother. He's part of he's the part of the brother, the alter ego of the brother that's fighting this off. He doesn't want the change. He wants to stay.
Right.
He's afraid of it. And it's how do you suppress that when he has so many cool characters like Emmett and Lucy, which that led to another, I thought, great punchline to a joke and a twist, which came at the end of the movie. Since we are talking music, but I just wanted to like talk about the brother, like Danger Vest was that part of the brother that was resisting all along. And I thought that, you know, when you break it down on a psychology level, you don't really expect that from a Lego movie, but it's sort of kind of cool.
But it also is reflective of just the boy growing up.
Sure.
Because when we saw the boy in the first movie, he's at the age where he plays with Legos. And then, again, past 5 years, and now he's getting to that teenager older. Like, they're moving on to other things. They're getting away from Legos.
Yeah.
Like, there's still the passion there, but it's just the signs of adolescence and growing up.
Sure. Yeah. So let's talk. I want to talk about Lucy, and I want to talk about her hair, which I thought was really funny, and why her hair was that way. Because she likes music. She was in a band, and she was in the band that sang "Everything Is Awesome." And the look on Emmett's face
was like,
what? Because she so hated that song, and to find that out, and the way that it was done, the reveal, I thought was really funny, and just like Emmett's face, it was like
so quick too.
Yes,
because if you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that was clever. That was really funny. She actually was in the band that sang that song that Emmett loves.
And it's so funny because you don't expect it from her character, that she's such a tough, hard woman who like, you know, badass chick who's like far from glittery and poppy in that way.
Right.
You would never think she's a musician with a creative side.
Poppy, I think, is the best way to put that too. And that's why I liked it so much. And Emmett and Lucy as the Lego couple, as voiced by Elizabeth Banks and Chris Pratt, I think their chemistry, Pratt and Banks, is really good. Like they really bring life. Yeah,
it really worked in the first one.
And in this movie, when we open, Lucy is far more brooding. And I love how she's brooding, and I love those moments of brooding. And,
I had a dream.
and I mean, that stuff was funny, and like when she's trying to tell Emmett, it's like, Emmett, you don't know how to brood. She goes, no, not really. And he kept on trying, poor Emmett.
Right.
But that's just
I'm
not
sorry,
what
did I interrupt your brooding?
Yeah. So, but they're such a good couple together, and you know, and again, I'm not making any, like, these aren't the be-all, end-all to animated movies, but they do have the great heart. And, like, when he builds the house...
Yeah, they're fun to be together, and you are just rooting for them as the couple.
You are.
Because you don't really expect... They are very, very opposite. They're, like, an unlikely pairing.
Yes.
But it works so well because they complement each other so
They
well.
do.
And then when you see the house, when Emmett's, like, thinking of a future for both of them, you're like, oh, how
That's
cute.
very nice. Yeah.
And then when
really
it gets destroyed, you're like, oh, crap. It's like, no, we want the house.
Yeah, it was,
them to be
it's
together.
cool. So anything else about the production? I mean, I got a ton of tidbits about this movie, including the house, mind you.
Yeah, go for it.
But, well, here's some trivia. Is there anything else about production that you wanted to share?
No.
So here's some I think some cool things. So, all right, do you know the number of sugars Emmett takes in his coffee?
Probably high, 26.
25.
25.
With just a touch of cream. Whereas Lucy takes 0 sugars in her coffee. She likes her coffee black. So
Emmett doesn't have diabetes is beyond me.
I don't know. But Emmett and Lucy's dream house has a TV room, a trampoline room, a fireman's pole, a water slide, climbing bars, double-decker porch swing, and a room just for eating waffles. That part was funny.
And
that's where I get the Lego Maya go. Yes, a kitty.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
That was a cool house.
So, in 1997, writer-producers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller met with director Mike Mitchell when they moved into an office he just vacated. Mitchell, when he returned to collect some of his things, which Phil recalls as being a boombox and a Hank Williams CD, they started talking and discovered how much they had in common creatively. So that's really interesting. They were just taking over an office that this guy was in before, and they just met. It was pure happenstance, which is cool.
Yeah.
I love when
That's the start of it.
Love it when a plan comes together,
Right.
like that.
That's neat.
Let's see. So Stephanie Beatrice, who plays General Mayhem, has a tiny scar on her eyebrow from falling in her room as a child to avoid stepping on a Lego environment she had built on the floor.
I don't blame her. And I did love the moment with Maya
I know where you're going. Yes.
Yeah.
Ow!
Ow! And she did
Ow!
it twice. And if anyone who's ever stepped on Lego, yes, it's painful. It's one of the worst things your feet can ever experience.
It is painful. Because,
very painful.
Yeah,
They're hard.
They're so
It's
small,
like
they're hard, and
stepping on a nail.
And their corners are
sharp.
Yeah. So catch this. So the shape-shifting queen, whatever wannabe, changes into 40 distinctly different looks. That the movie.
Wow. There were so many.
Well, catch this. The film's color palette uses 76 official Lego colors, including unique materials such as transparent and glitter blocks. So we did get new colors.
We did see transparent a little bit.
Right.
And Rex was fading.
Right. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And since the original Lego movie, like when you talk about the Batman Lego movie, where they added things like fire, I know Ninjago added the elements of like grass and things like that. So this movie added its own things here. So there's new Lego color for 2019 that appears in the movie called Vibrant Coral.
Yeah.
All right. Total of unique characters in the film, 523. Unique props seen in the film, 1,011. Okay, so unique Lego brick types used in this film, 3,433.
Wow.
And this is all in the movie. Unique Lego models used to create the film, 6,530. So the biggest Lego character, largest number of bricks, was Metalbeard with 251 bricks.
I believe that.
Right?
He had the whole pirate ship behind him. So, yeah.
The biggest single Lego model was Mega Bash at approximately 9 feet by 9 feet by 18. That's huge.
That is huge.
Huge. The biggest number of lights in a shot, 42,315. It's a lot.
What shot was that?
It just says the biggest number of lights in a shot.
Probably when they were all glittery.
Yeah. Okay, so total number of Lego bricks to bring the film's unique characters to life at once. If they were all lined up in a row, this is how many bricks you'd be looking at. 2,672.
Wow.
Like all in a row. Number of glitter pieces in Sweet Mayhem's wings, 835.
Yep. That was like, it has to be with the glitters.
Yes, that was awesome.
So much glitter.
Her outfit almost reminds you a little like of anime kind of thing, and she had her wings. She was really cool.
When she finally took off her helmet, she looked like an anime character a bit. Mm-hmm. With the hair and the white, and she looked like some Asian descent. All
right, so guess how many the glitter pieces in Balthazar's cape. Glitter pieces, 3,993.
Wow.
Could you imagine, like, being in charge of, like, putting that together? His hair, Balthazar's hair, the glitter pieces, 1,107. The total total grains of sand in Apocalypseburg. This number's Apocalypseburg, which is very Mad Max-ish, right?
Right.
49,496,833 grains of sand.
Ooh, I'm sure that was painful to render. And I did love how they made fun of Fury Road Mad Max, because that's also a WB movie.
Yeah, it was.
There's so many WB references in this movie.
Yeah, I even liked the Statue of Liberty, which I always think of when it's in such when the future or the past is in such disarray, and you always see the Statue of Liberty. I always think Planet of the Apes. But so catch this: the largest brick explosion in the film, 1.5 million bricks.
Is that the whole punch?
It's gotta be, yeah. When the whole thing goes down,
The whole thing just collapses.
So catch this, because this I didn't even know, and it's sort of kind of cool. So the asteroids that Rex and Emmett fly through, they are all randomly generated and made of bricks. So on some film frames, there are more than 400 asteroids and 20 million bricks, and it's all randomly generated.
I feel bad
Could you
for
imagine?
That's
No wonder-
crazy. I feel bad for the poor PA who had to count all that.
I'm just like, no wonder why it took
too
5
much.
years.
Well, yeah, and especially when they had all the other films in between.
Yeah.
So, but the great thing about Lego 2 movie is that the director Mitchell, he actually said they had to recreate the ending scene because that's where this movie picks up.
Right.
They literally had to recreate it from scratch.
Jesus.
I mean, and you think that'd be saved somewhere from the first
Taco
film, but
Tuesdays.
no. They had to recreate the scene to just add
Right.
on more and tack on the next storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like Finding Dory had to do that too for Finding Nemo. Like because Pixar had there was I believe a warehouse fire burn or something, and they lost a lot of their files, so they had to recreate the whole ocean environment from Finding Dory. So it's not the first time we've heard movies recreate the existing scene.
I have regarding the opening shot of Bricksburg. Okay, so catch this: includes 120,884 pedestrians. Okay, 1,438 vehicles, a jet, a biplane, a helicopter. Combined, that's the entire population of Fargo, North Dakota. Like, that's a random fact, but the mere 120,884 pedestrians. That's again. That's why it took.
That's a lot.
That's why it took 5 years to make this movie. Because you're putting in that many.
They were only in the movie for like that scene.
Yeah, for that
a couple
scene.
seconds.
Yeah,
That's all.
very much so. So,
Oh my goodness.
Again, I enjoy the worlds they've created, and especially starting off with the Lego Movie. But the interesting thing, the fascinating thing is, its reception.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Pretty
we'll
high.
start going. Well, in Rotten Tomatoes, it was 85%, which is a little bit down. I believe the original movie was in the low to mid 90s, like 92, 93. Now, it does get a cinema score of A-, so the audiences liked it. But we also have, but its box office was very fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's actually pretty low.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because going into the week, Hollywood, they have a system for what they call tracking.
The first Lego movie is 95%.
95%. Okay.
Tomatoes, yeah.
So a little bit lower, but not much.
No.
Not much for a sequel.
6%?
Yeah, not much at all. There's not very little disparity, I think,
8%?
between that. So we're looking at the movie had a production budget about $100 million, which after all the bricks we just talked about kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you understand. I would too.
Because the animation is not cheap in this movie. The vistas and environments they create are actually pretty eye popping. I saw this in IMAX, and I was captivated.
There's a lot of musical numbers in this.
Absolutely, and the end credit sequence.
Right, yeah.
was pretty cool
sucker
too.
for that.
Yeah, same here. So, but just going back to the grosses, so tracking is a thing that all the studios use to try to help them figure out where their movie is going to open and where it may land within the top 3, the top 5, top 10. It's really something that's supposed to be very important. Studios have to rely on it because they can move around monies. They can either pull from advertising, put more into advertising, and they have a good idea how they might come out on the weekend. Mm-hmm. This movie going into the opening weekend, it was reported that they were going to, according to the tracking, open to $50 to $55 million. Opening weekend.
Oof.
That didn't happen.
Nope.
The movie opened up
underperformed
at $34 million. $34 million. It's like $20 million off. Many reports were trying to, and then after it's all Monday morning quarterbacking. It's why did Lego Movie 2 fail? Why didn't it live up to the hype? And my take on it is, why is tracking so miserably wrong?
Right.
Like, what did it miss?
Why did it project so high?
Why did it project so high? Why was it so miserably wrong? That's another show. As far as Lego Movie 2 goes, what some have said, and I don't necessarily disagree, is, we talked within the span of 5 years, we've had 4 movies. Boom, boom, boom. And Lego Movie 2 did really well.
Yes, it did.
Batman did fairly well. Not sure if it had done as well as the first one. But so we had Lego Movie did $257 million gross all in. Lego Batman did 175. Ninjago did 59. Do you see a trend here? Do you see a pattern?
Right.
Lego Movie 2 so far at around 40. Let's say it's 39.2. I'll round that up.
And Batman was higher in Rotten Tomatoes too.
Yeah, it was higher than this one because that was low 90s, or was it 89?
Batman is the Batman one's 90.
90.
So I mean that's still pretty high. I didn't see Ninjago. Did you?
I had seen it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but I saw it. So many people say, and it's hard to argue against it, is that they started to just release too many spin-offs, and they made the world less special. Right. And I could understand that. When you look at the Batman character as well, he's a character that, even though he goes through an arc in the Batman movie, and that we also did. So if you're interested in the Batman movie, the Lego Batman movie, right, we did a panel on it.
And I love Batman's humor too.
Oh, sure.
It's like 9 movies about me.
Right.
And 3 others in development in different stages of development.
And he always,
that's pretty funny. But
he
it's
never
also
changes.
this DC property,
right?
Which is
WB. So it's interesting to me because I really thought that this movie would have popped more. We are going into a long weekend. There aren't any other children's movies that are opening. So this is, this.
Well, How to Train Your Dragon will come out in next week. Which is great. It's fantastic. I've seen it already.
Yeah,
great.
So that's next week. So it could have this week, and then much of the East Coast, at least in Boston that I'm aware of, they're on what is called February vacation. The school's there, so they have that week off. It'll be interesting. But thus far, $39 million in domestically, foreign, $18 million or 18 and a half. So right now, worldwide is 57. This is a far cry from the first movie, and it would be very hard-pressed when you're spending $100 million to make one of these that we will even get a third.
It's got a long way to go to make any money back.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be quite honest, if they don't make any more Lego movies, or the other option that they could have is, I think WB is going to have a streaming service, or everybody's got a stream. They could make these directly for streaming, like Netflix,
right?
And that would be fine. But I would be surprised if we get a Lego Movie 3 or another Lego theatrical movie. Period.
I could definitely see another movie. I'm not sure if it's going to be for this particular storyline, or if it'd be like another Batman movie, or heck, even Superman. Lego movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like WB has so many options, and there were so many character cameos in this particular film that could easily make their own spin-offs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be very interested. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they just
I think a lot of
decided
people
not
would
to.
see the Superman and Wonder Woman Lego movie.
Yeah.
Because they're big right
They
now.
could, sure. It would just be I'd be interested to see or know, like, what they decide to do. What path they choose. Take a break? Taking a break wouldn't be a bad idea at this point.
Right. They've done 4. It's not like
Yep.
we've said
Pretty
that-
quickly.
Yeah. It's not like they haven't been pumping out movies.
No.
But,
I
like,
personally would love a Wizarding World Lego movie
Ah.
because they're both Warners. So
Yes.
right.
I don't know. I think it'd be really funny. That I like that universe, but it takes itself a little seriously. So it'd
Yes.
be fun to see the tone and irreverence of these films take on J.K. Rowling's brain.
Well, also, there was supposed to be a cameo for Daniel Radcliffe
Yeah.
was supposed to voice a mock character of Harry Potter, which was supposed to be called Larry Potter.
Okay.
But they actually cut his scene because they were worried that it would poke too much fun at Harry Potter and demean the character.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So I think that's why they settled with Larry Poppins instead.
Larry Poppins. And ladies and gentlemen,
Which is
that
big
was
on Mary Poppins,
I just-
which is also big in UK.
that was Jeff Graham who chimed in. He's handling our engineering and for today. So thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the that. You know what? You're right, Jeff. I mean, the irreverence of the Lego world mixed with the Potterverse
We're
or the
going with
Wizarding
Gandalf,
world
but he is dead.
Could
so-
work. It could work. But I'll be very interested to see if they decide to go forward. Like right now, I just think they have some thinking to do. You know, they have to sit down and go, this cost $100 million and it opened up, where did we go
35.
wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not like it had a lot of other movies to compete with this week.
no, and that's the other thing too. So, and when you get an A- on a cinema score, you're mostly getting that, you're mostly getting that from the parents because, they're filling out the cards, but the kids seem to really like it. I know the audience that I saw it with, I saw it on a Thursday preview night. It was comprised of, it was a good mix, but there were a lot of kids who were in the audience as well, and they seemed to really enjoy the movie. I don't think that it never got boring, and it comes in at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I had a kid sitting next to me, and this movie's rated PG, so,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of kids are going to go see it. And the first one came out, so Lego 1, I believe, came out October of 2014. So that was in the fall time. This one
Yeah.
came out in February.
And again, I think it's a good time because a lot of the holiday animated movies and family movies are
Lego
already
Batman
gone.
came out, sorry.
Yeah.
It
So,
was Lego Batman came out in October.
okay.
But
So,
Lego 1.
that was in
I
a
wanna
March
say that was-
release?
yeah, I
Or
want to
could
say
have
that
been
was
early?
actually... That was February, too.
Yeah.
That was February 7, 2014.
Yeah, and if you usually
So-
too, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. But something happened, and I don't quite understand why. Legos are still popular with kids, but in any case, it's not a bad movie.
No,
It was definitely worth viewing on the big screen. But to your point, I think with this week they'll have free reign because there isn't a kids movie out there, but then they'll be going into How to Train Your Dragon. So.
And the first
see how
Lego,
that one-
yeah, definitely. I mean, How to Train Your Dragon is going to take number one. That's without a doubt, and it's fantastic. Go see it. Yeah, the first movie had a lower budget than this one too.
What was it, 75?
It's like 65.
65
million.
Yeah.
And made a lot of money. They definitely made profit on that one. And this
Absolutely.
one, higher budget, no profit
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So, well, I think we've done a really good job with Lego Movie 2,
Yeah.
the second part, Lego My Ego. So, what are your final thoughts on Lego Movie 2?
It's still a fun movie. If you like the first one or any of the Lego movies, you'll definitely enjoy this one. And I think it definitely appeals to a wider audience because I feel like the first one appealed more to boys, even though there are some girls that liked it. But I feel it appealed more to boys, and then this one appeals to the girls and boys.
Yeah, I really felt that, I really felt that the movie was fun. I thought it was just as creative and as inventive as the original movie was. The voice acting was fantastic as always. There's a really good rapport and chemistry. And, I felt and I really enjoyed the messaging of this movie.
Yeah.
So, I think the movie is better than what some of the box office would pretend it to be, whether there is quote unquote Lego franchise fatigue. That could be a part of why this didn't do so well. Lord knows it was marketed to death.
Yes, it was.
All over the place.
I saw the trailer so many times.
I saw the trailer. It was on television. It was on billboards out here. It was all over the place. So if kids didn't know that it was coming out, I'd be very surprised.
Then they live under a rock.
And the marketing for me, worked. I saw the trailer and I was like, I'd be happy to go back to that world. And I will say this, as comparing it to Batman and to Ninjago, the Batman world, superhero world, is fine world, great, it's a lot of fun. But this world was the world that introduced us to these Lego characters. I really liked being back there again and what they were going to do. I like these characters above and beyond than Ninjago and even Batman alone. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens later on down the line. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen later on down the line with Anatomy of a Movie. You're going to be talking about Roma, a little bit later on. Not a Roma, Roma. I had already done, I talked about Happy Death Day to You, which I liked a lot. That is posted. You can check that out. We will be talking about How to Train Your Dragon. We have Oscars. We'll be doing an Oscar show.
Yep.
We will be talking Alita Battle Angel, which is looking to do pretty decent at the box office. So there's so many movies, so little time. But we're gonna try to put out as many shows as we possibly can, even if the show is 10 minutes long, like I did with Happy Death Day to You, which was just quick review in and out, just to let you know and give you an idea of how the movie is. As always, we always welcome your comments here at Anatomy of a Movie. Marisa, how can people interact with you on the social medias?
Everyone can follow me at Serafini TV.
And you can find me on the Twitters at DMovies1701. I've been actually having some amazing conversation with some of our fans who watch us, and they really love the show, which is really encouraging. We've been doing this for 55 years now, and I think that our audience is really warmed up, and please, if you like us, recommend us to other friends, show us to other friends, keep coming back for more, and as Marisa said earlier, we are in perpetuity. We've got about 1.5 million shows that you can find.
We've covered Batman Lego, the first Lego, and then we've covered Mad Max.
We covered Mad Max. We covered the Batman movies.
All the movies that they make fun of in this movie, we've covered.
We've covered a ton. Yeah. So if you see a movie that's on cable, 9 out of 10 times, just because you may have missed it in the theater, and why did you miss it in the theater? Support the movies, would you? But if you saw it on Blu-ray, 9 out of 10. We got a show for it as its companion piece. So, until next time, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We look forward to talking more movies with you folks. We thank you for listening. Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.